I don't care what number is next to your name when you begin the season, because you didn't earn it. From here on out is when you earn it. This is how they view things. They go, oh, well, I guess since we had Oregon at 3, we can only drop them a couple spots. Guess who got a vote to be in the top 25? Colorado! Who in their right mind voted for Colorado to be in the top 25? Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope each and every single one of you had as great as a time over this Labor Day weekend watching college football as myself, because I had a blast. College football 5 days in a row, and good games at that 5 days in a row, it's undefeated. I sat on my couch a majority of the weekend or in the man cave watching college football for 5 days in a row, and believe it or not, I'd much rather do that than go on some luxurious vacation. To me, that is a vacation. We kicked things off at Colorado, winning a nail-biter over North Dakota State. We had all the amazing games on Saturday. Sunday, we had LSU and USC. That was a classic. And last night, we all saw it. The Seminoles, they had an embarrassing performance and loss against Boston College. A major shout-out to our Twitter community. If you're not following the Twitter, I'll pop it up on the screen for you right here. We was having an absolute ball just making fun of Florida State. I know we do the reaction videos, but if you want to see what I'm saying during the games in live time, feel free to follow the Twitter. And also, too, on Twitter, I give you guys updates for future videos and stuff like that. Love interacting with you guys there. With all that great stuff being said, the new rankings have came out, and you know what we're about to do. I haven't seen these rankings. I've been saving my live reaction for this video, and we're going to do 2 things. Number 1, we're going to react to them, and number 2, I'm going to give you guys my top 10. I think most of you are familiar with this type of video because we've been doing this on the channel for I think about 2 years now. Speaking of my top 10, and it seems like I'm just plugging my Twitter nonstop, but if you want to see my top 10 early, I tweet it out after all the games are over. However, in today's video, I will explain to you why I have every team ranked where they're at. Let's pull up this top 25. I thought I had it saved. Hold on. Okay, I got it saved right here. Okay, so this is interesting. Clemson remains inside the top 25 right at 25, which I'm not going to complain about that too much. It is what it is, not a big deal. At 24, this one is a head scratcher, another team in the ACC, NC State. They almost lost to, what was that team? Oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember who they played, but it wasn't a good team and they was losing to them. There's no way they should remain in the top 25, but here they are. Who did they play? Oh yeah, my bad. It was Western Carolina. The ACC is awful. This isn't brand new knowledge. Speaking of ACC, at 23 and 22, we got 2 more of those teams, Georgia Tech and Louisville. Don't have a problem with Georgia Tech sneaking in there at 23. They're a solid ball club, and Louisville, well, they're Louisville. You got Iowa creeping in at 21. Let's take a look at 20 through 16. Arizona goes up a spot. Kansas goes up 3 spots to 19. LSU drops from 13 to 18. You got K-State and Oak State. Not too much to say there. 15 through 11, you got OU, Tennessee, USC. Okay, they made the major jump up 10 spots to 13. Miami, another major jump. They jump up from, 19 to 12. I was about to say, I thought it was 19. And then you got Utah at number 11. I personally have USC and Miami a little bit higher, and you'll see in just a second. Let's get into the top 10, though, because this is where things get interesting, and it's what all of you really care about. At number 10, Michigan. They drop a spot after their shaky performance against Fresno State to number 10. I don't think anybody in their right mind is going to argue about that. I even had Michigan fans tweeting me saying, oh, yeah, we're washed up. We're not even close to being as good as we were last year. And I think Michigan's going to struggle a lot this year. When I say a lot, let me clarify. I still think they're going to win around anywhere from 8 to 10 games. But they're not going to go 11-1, 12-0. No way. Mizzou, what about that? The sleeper in the SEC quietly going up. And I tell you what, I love me some Missouri. I was high on Missouri heading into last season when they shocked everybody. They're a team nobody wants to face, and they're just quietly flying under the radar. And that's a good place to be because there's not a lot of pressure. At number 8, you got the irrelevant Penn State and Nittany Lions staying the same. And oh, here we go. Oregon. They dropped all the way from number 3 to 7. For me personally, I dropped Oregon out of my top 10. And I don't understand how they're in anybody's top 10 after that. I am praying and hoping for Oregon's sake and their fan base's sake, it was a fluky performance. I mean this in the most respectful way to the Idaho fan base and their players and program. If you can't block the fighting potato wedges, you can kiss making the college football playoff goodbye. It's crazy I'm even saying this, but Oregon's offensive line looked like Colorado's offensive line from last year. It was that bad. I know a lot of you didn't watch the game, and that may be hard to believe, but if you watch the film, you'd probably agree with me. Oregon drops, rightfully so, Ole Miss, they stay the same at number 6. Notre Dame, they jump up from 7 to 5. I like that. Alabama, they go up to number 4. And Texas, they take Oregon's spot at 3. And top 2 stay the same. You got the little bro, Ohio State at number 2. And the Georgia Bulldogs at number 1. Here's my biggest gripe out of this top 5. Who in their right mind voted for Ohio State? Why do they have 5 first-place votes? That is ludicrous to me. And hold on, I found one even better. So the teams that don't get put in the top 25, they still can get receiving votes. And at the very bottom of this list, I'll highlight it for you. Guess who got a vote to be in the top 25? Colorado! Who in their right mind voted for Colorado to be in the top 25? That's crazy. I would understand it if they blew out NDSU, but they did not. And they dang near lost the game on a Hail Mary. Now that I've shown you the rankings from the AP nerds, it's time I show you the only rankings that really matter, and that is the MBG top 10. At number 10 and 9, let's run through these because these don't really need an explanation. I got Utah at 10, Missouri at 9. Self-explanatory, nobody's going to argue about that in the comment section, not even to the slightest. But past Missouri at number 8, this is where things start to get controversial. I got USC. Say what you want about Brian Kelly, you can joke on LSU all you want, but my biggest takeaway from the USC and LSU ball game is that was 2 really good teams going at it. It's just unfortunate one team had to lose. It didn't matter who won the game. I was not going to come away from it saying, oh yeah, this team sucks because they lost the game. No. And I'll even eat a little bit crow. And this is for my USC fans, and I know y'all want to hear this. I was severely wrong about the USC defense and their coaching staff. They brought in a new scheme, new players, really knew everything for the defense, and they look good. And we all know this. If Lincoln Riley could piece together just a semi-decent defense, he can compete for a championship, so watch out. Outside of Ryan Day, I have stated that Lincoln Riley is the biggest fraud in college football, and just because he won one game against LSU, that doesn't change that. Let's not have a knee-jerk reaction, okay? Let's not have recency bias. He's still a fraud. But, and I have an astronomically big but, you better believe this, if he can keep this up, the narrative might switch. Ahead of USC at number 7, a team that impressed me the most over this weekend, I got Miami. I can't sit up here and tell you guys enough how much they impressed me. It was through the roof. They looked very reminiscent to the old Miami teams. I'm talking about in the 90s. They had swagger, moxie, and most importantly, confidence. It wasn't cockiness, it was confidence, and there's a difference. They look like they can beat everybody. Now, you also got to throw in there, it also helps that Florida's an absolute joke and a crap show right now. But take nothing away from Miami and Cam Ward, whew, that dude could play. I love the running back, Martinez, the offensive line, defense line. Everybody did their part. It was a dominating performance from top to bottom, and if they can keep this up, they will easily be a playoff team. At number 6, this doesn't need an explanation. I got Ole Miss. They stay the same. At number 5, this has shocked a lot of people, especially on Twitter. It's what everybody's been asking me about, and I will explain my reasoning for this. I got Notre Dame. If you are a long-term viewer of this channel, or maybe even a short-term viewer, you're probably sitting here going, what in the crap, Matt? Are you okay, buddy? Notre Dame at 5? I thought you stated they should be banned from the top 10. How you got them at 5? Hey, I'm just about as shocked as you. You know if I have Notre Dame at 5, it has to mean something. Because I'm a professional Notre Dame hater. But I tell you what, I love Marcus Freeman. I love everything he's about. And that defense, they gave A&M problems. And when I mean problems, let me break it down. Wigman didn't even know what was going on. He couldn't even read the defense. And it's not that Wigman's not a good quarterback. No, I think he's one of the better young quarterbacks in the SEC. It's more of a testimony to how unreal that Notre Dame secondary was. Wigman did struggle, by far one of the worst performances I've seen him have. But the wide receivers, they couldn't get open. If you like defense as much as myself, although I know we glorify offense in the modern era, it was a masterpiece. I know some people might say, well, Matt, what about the offense? And to tell you the truth, I'm not even worried to the slightest about Notre Dame's offense because I believe in Riley Leonard that much and he'll piece it together. Anytime you can go into one of the most hostile environments in the nation and walk out there with a win, and it's not a fluky win, you got to be feeling good about yourself. This is the first time in my life I've ever actually respected and taking Notre Dame seriously. And maybe I shouldn't. Maybe this comes back to bite me in the butt. But for now, I'm very confident in this Notre Dame ball club. Here's the last thing I'm going to say, and we're going to get a move on. Notre Dame, please don't screw this up. You're in good cahoots with me right now. And please don't make me look like an idiot. If they go back to the old Notre Dame that I've come to know, I'm going back to being a professional Notre Dame hater. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But at this point in time, I'm liking this team. At number 4, I got the little bro, Ohio State. I know they beat Akron. What was the final score? 52-6, 52-3, something like that. They won by a bunch of points. But what I said about Will Howard months ago, it actually was spot on. He's not better than Kyle McCord. If anything, he's just as good as him. I was not impressed in Ohio State's opening day performance. I'm not worried about him, so don't get it twisted. I just wasn't impressed. I was more impressed by 2 other teams I'm about to get to, Alabama and Texas. And speaking of them, I got them at number 3 and 2. Alabama's defense looked elite. They're like a top 3 defense in the nation. And that's what should really scare people. And since we're talking about them, you know how Alabama lost Caleb Downs to Ohio State? Well, they picked up right where it left off because the new Caleb Downs, which is Keon Sabb, he had 2 INTs. I tried telling you, I remember talking about it when he left. I wasn't worried because Alabama's just going to plug in the next guy. And also, too, another reason why Alabama over Ohio State, and it's not even particularly close right now, is because they have the better quarterback. Milroe is better than Howard, and that's why I'm giving Bama the edge. Quarterback play and defense. Oh, yeah, too, I know some Ohio State fans are going to say, well, Matt, we got Jeremiah Smith. Well, Alabama has a 17-year-old that goes by the name of Ryan Williams, who is just as good as him, so it cancels out. At number 2, I got Texas. Nobody's going to argue with that. Steve Sarkisian, one of the brightest minds in the game. They got a sound ball club, and, oh yeah, I can't forget to mention, they got Quinn Ewers, one of my favorite quarterbacks in the nation. At number 1, I will talk about this for about 15 seconds. I got Georgia. Georgia's the best team in the country, and it's not even close. Period. The end. Georgia is on another level. They are the elite of the elite. And they should have won a championship last year. They were better than Alabama, but Alabama just had their number. That's my top 10. And the reason I tell you guys this is the only list that really matters is because those AP nerds, they don't explain to you guys, and they can't explain to you guys why they have the teams ranked where they do. And they also feel peer pressure to make other people happy, whereas I don't care. I'm just going to give you my honest opinion. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It is what it is. This is how they view things. They go, oh, well, I guess since we had Oregon at 3, we can only drop them a couple spots. No, that's not right to me. If Oregon looked like crap and you don't believe they're no longer that 3rd best team in the country you thought they were going to be, drop them out of the top 10. Trust me, they want to do it. But they're weenies. They're scared to displease people. So for me, and a bunch of y'all were mad about this in the offseason because I never gave you guys a preseason rankings list because I don't believe in preseason rankings. They don't matter. I don't care what number is next to your game to start the season when you're 0-0 because you didn't earn it. From here on out is when you earn it. So I don't know how Oregon is at number 7 still. If you are wondering where I do have Oregon and LSU, I got them a little bit outside the top 10. And come to think about it, maybe moving forward, I should do the top 12 teams because we have advanced to a 12-team playoff. Let me know in the comment section if you want to see that. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts down below. But, Romana.